Sir. Okay. Number 2, read the sentence from paragraph 2. So, Roberto was flabbergasted that Christopher actually wanted to talk to him. What does flabbergasted most likely mean in the sentence? Well, when I read the question, I thought, why did the author include the word flabbergasted? And like, what does it develop in Roberto? So
Hmm?
I know, no, using my background knowledge as well, I inferred that flabbergasted meant shocked, surprised. So
Yeah.
A, flabbergasted means disturbed. It doesn't really make sense that he would be disturbed because Christopher is a nice person at first. So no. Flabbergasted most likely means embarrassed. I don't think he would be embarrassed. It's more shocked, but we could keep that as well. C, flabbergasted most likely means astonished. Yes. D, flabbergasted most likely means unsettled. It's kind of the same thing with disturbed. He wouldn't really be, he wouldn't feel unsettled if he was talking to Christopher. So I eliminated that, and then I got C, that it meant astonished.
Yeah. That's accurate. It is astonished. Now, number 3. Can we go over number 3, and then I'll try to pass off to someone else who got 6 out of 6 on this. Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, how can we best characterize Christopher based on his actions in the story? I said that Christopher he was kind of ignorant towards Roberto because like he took over his house, then he didn't even acknowledge him. So I'd say he was ignorant towards Roberto. A, Christopher is naive because he thinks Roberto wants to be his friend. Um, I wouldn't really say that he's naive. It's not. It's not really what the author is trying to develop in Christopher. So B, Christopher is self-centered and inconsiderate of other people's feelings. I think that he is because again, he left Roberto there and he didn't interact with him at all. C, Christopher is thoughtful and generous. He's the complete opposite, so not C. And D, Christopher is timid and awkward. Kind of reminds me of me, but no, he's not timid and awkward. I think it's B.
So it is B. He's self-centered and inconsiderate of other people's feelings because he tries to take advantage of people. Now, let's go through 4, 5, 6. Binta, do you have yours with you?
Me, I kind of like, because I did already, I kind of like exited it out.
That's totally fine. Could you look in history for it to see if you have it? Rachel, your camera needs to be on and facing you. Who else got a 6 out of 6 here? Vincent got them all correct. Vincent, can you look in your history and find them? Whoever finds them first will win. Vincent, do you have them?
Well, I see it, but it's not filled out because I already did it before.
Yeah, that's totally fine if it's not filled out. Josh, hold on just a second. That's totally fine if it's not filled out. The correct answers for it, I'll give them to you right now. For the answers are B, A, and then A, buddy. So could you just tell me how you got to those answers? You got them all correct. Could you just tell me how you got to them?
Okay, so for the fourth question, I looked back in the text and like I looked around the word and casual seems to fit. For elated, I already knew what that meant from my background knowledge. And then for famished, I also knew that from my background knowledge.
Okay, so one thing that we can take away on this is that with both Josh and Vincent, who got it all correct, these vocabularies are going to rely a lot on background knowledge. However, I want to point out something interesting that Josh did that I think influences a lot of portions of the text and makes it better. makes it easier for us to understand. And that's this. As he was going through these questions, when he was thinking particularly of why the author uses this kind of descriptive language, he was interacting with that main idea. Even for questions of vocabulary, where the majority of what you're going to be doing is looking at background knowledge, you should still refer back to that main idea, because in anything where it's close, the definition will come from an interaction with that main idea. So your main idea has to be specific. I know I didn't include a main idea yesterday into this, but can someone just raise their hand and tell me what the main idea of yesterday's passage was? Specifically, I know, Elijah, that you worked on this a little bit. Could you tell me what it was, sir?
Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, what was the main idea of yesterday's passage?
Oh, so I said that the characters were Roberto.
Racine will go right after you, by the way.
And Roberto wanted to be like, he thought he was friends with Christopher. And the problem was that Roberto didn't realize that Christopher was actually using him just for his game. And then the solution is that Roberto, like, he found his real friend, which was Nate. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that that's a pretty good summary of what we're talking about. One thing that I would add on to this.
So we have to wait.
One thing that I would add on to this is that the problem develops. It's not just one problem. Who's still talking right now? It seems like everyone's muted. Racine. So can you walk me through the multiple problems and multiple solutions? I think the only issue that I had with Elijah's, even though it was strong, was he just had one problem and one solution. I think this text actually has more. So Racine, can you talk me through it?
Yeah. So Elijah said that Christopher was just using him, right?
Uh-huh.
And this other problem, the other problem is that he had multiple friends over and were like taking control of his bedroom and making him feel anxious and all like uncomfortable, because Christopher friends started grabbing his stuff, which made him feel uncomfortable. And the solution to that is that he kicked everybody out.
Yeah. So what I want to focus on in particular here is that, Elijah, yours was a good general sense of it, but Racine will be more able to answer questions on the development of plot here, because Racine actually calculates it. The reason we want to have those multiple problems and multiple solutions is it gives us a firmer understanding and reassures us of what we know about the text. So don't just have one problem and one solution. Have as many problems and solutions as the text actually has. Okay? Let's keep that in mind and make a commitment to ourselves on that. Now, we're going to skip the guided practice. We're going to skip the intro to new material. We're going to go straight to the independent practice. It is the latter half of the 21st century. Could everyone skip to that Friday's independent practice, please? Just give me a thumbs up whenever you're ready, and then we'll get started on what the idea of the day is and how I want you to execute this independent practice. You should be able to finish all of your homework in class, by the by. I have made it so that it should be that easy. Please give me a thumbs up just like Vincent did. Yep, thanks everybody. I think most of us are there. Jason, can I see a thumbs up? Thanks, Michelle. So, thumbs down. Who had a thumbs down? Rachel. That's Rachel, that's fine. Just click on the link and now you can go to it. I understand the kid. Rachel, what's up?
Where is it? The link.
I just sent the link out to everyone, but I can resend it if you need. Do you need me to do that?
Yeah.
Hey, Marcus, what's up? Marcus, what's up with you? Marcus! Marcus! So, I'm resending the link right now. I should just send it to everyone every single day. That's how I will start class from here on out. Mr. Regan also said he can do that. We can both do it. It'll be great. What I want us to focus on right now is this. That, sir, what's up?
Is there not a packet for this, or is it just?
It's the link, buddy.
Okay.
It's the link I just sent. So what I want us to focus on is this. The author uses particular words in order to emphasize the tone of the text. So as we're going through this, we need to pay attention to what words the author chooses to use. Now, I'm going to share my screen here so that we can all read it on mine. What I will ask various questions throughout. Some of them will just be, why does the author use this? But I've been talking a ton, so I want to hear other people talk, okay? So I'm going to pick readers in just a second. Remember, our big skill of today is paying attention so that we understand why the author uses these words and how they contribute to like tone and meaning, okay? So hold on just a second. All right, I am sharing my screen with you right now. Visualizer, share, and we are all shared. Who wants to be my first reader? Oh, there are also two separate ways to go about finding out how these contribute to tone. One is to find the tone itself and find what words convince you of that. The other way is to look at the words and see how they convince you of the tone. I have a lot of participants who have raised hands to be readers. Marcus, I'm going to start with you. Okay, bud?
As a reader?
Yeah.
Okay. It is the latter half of the 21st century, and there are a dozen settlements in orbit about the Earth. Each is in its way an independent little world. The smallest has 10,000 inhabitants, the largest almost 25,000. I'm sure that all Earthmen know this, but you people are so entangled in your own giant world that you rarely think of us, except as some little inconsequential objects out in space. Well, think of us. Do I keep going? Oh. Each settlement...
Until you have an idea, keep going. And then when you have an idea, we can talk about it. Okay?
Each settlement imitates Earth's environment as closely as it can, spinning to produce a pseudo-gravity, allowing sunlight to enter at some times, and not at others in order to produce a normal day and night. Each is large enough to give the impression of space within, to have farms as well as factories, to have an atmosphere that can give rise to clouds. There are towns and schools and athletic fields.
First of all, is this fiction or nonfiction at this point, Marcus? What do you think?
Fiction.
Okay, it's fiction. How do you know that?
I know it's fiction because it says that 25,000, I'm sure that all Earthmen know this. And
okay.
You'd have to be on Earth to, be a person, so why would you call yourself an Earthman? So I feel like that would make it fiction.
So that's good. That's a good shout there. But this isn't a traditional fiction. We're not necessarily going to annotate it in the same way, because we don't really have characters other than our narrator. So who is our narrator? Where does our narrator live? Rasim?
Your narrator lives in Earth's orbit because it says that that you rarely think of us except as some little inconsequential objects out in space. Well, think of us.
It's great evidence there. He's definitely on the settlement. But why does he use those words, the little inconsequential? Why?
Because I think he uses that word because people they're gonna focus on other things rather than people, because in later on in the text he says that they wait give me a sec and later on in the text he says that they're all busy in their own earth thinking about nobody. Yeah.
Okay, so we see through those words, like thinking about nobody or busy on their own earth, that the people in these settlements have a particular idea. There's a particular tone here. What would you say is a word that describes this tone? Imagine if.
I got it. Unperceived, because they're not noticing.
Maybe, but Rasim, what if let's bring it back to this. What if I said, you only think of me as a little inconsequential box inside of your computer? What would my tone be? What feelings am I trying to convey to you?
Sympathy.
Maybe not sympathy, frustration. I'm frustrated. This person's definitely frustrated as well. Now, Rasim, I said you could be the next reader, so you certainly can be.
I forgot
what I would say, end of the second paragraph.
Right.
What I would say for this, as an annotation, the character of the narrator is frustrated about Earth's lack of understanding. We could also put that as a problem. That is also a problem. So 3, 4, 5.
Okay. There are towns and schools and athletic fields. We have some things that Earth has not. The pseudo gravitational field varies in intensity relative to position, which each settlement there are areas of low gravity, even zero gravity, where we can outfit ourselves with wings and fly. And we can play three-dimensional tennis, where we can have unusual gymnastic experiences. We also have a true space culture, for we are used to space. Our chief's work, aside from keeping our settlement running efficiently, is to build structure in space for ourselves and for Earth. We work in space, and to be in a spaceship or a spacesuit is second nature to us. Working at zero gravity is something we have done from childhood. There are also some things Earth has that we do not. We do not have weather extremes. In our carefully controlled settlements, it never gets too cold, too hot, or too cold. There are no storms, no unarranged precipitation. There's an idea.
Yeah. Okay, so what have we learned here? Let's go with Jamie, because you're gonna read next. What words particularly have influenced sort of the tone or what the author's trying to convey to you?
Some words we get is, I think it would be the words that show contrast between the earth and their place of settlement. Like,
I think you're
it uses,
absolutely right. Why do you choose those words, Jamie? Why?
because I think it's trying to lead us into either a potential problem or that their problem they're having with their certain way of settlement.
Yeah. I think that that's true. I think also what I would say on this is, just like Rasim said that the author was frustrated, the more they contrast the Earth and this other environment, the more that frustration really comes through. So that's the reason it's important there. Okay. So what I would say is the problem is that Earth and settlements are different. Which do you think, and Jamie, you can continue to answer this one, which do you think the narrator likes more, the Earth or the settlements?
I think based off this so far, I would say the settlements.
Why?
Because we see that it says it's talking about, like, at the end of paragraph 4, we get how they're like talking about their home and pride. They say that they have no storms, it's not too hot nor too cold, and no unarranged precipitation. And then they
Beautiful. So what can we tell that the author really likes, or really what's really important to the author here, the narrator rather?
His home.
His home, true, but also the order of it. When they say there's no unarranged precipitation, that means no precipitation that was unordered. Okay. So let's go to Jamie now to just finish reading, and then we'll do the main idea and the question. So Jamie, can you see everything?
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
Each settlement produces something that our settlements would like to have. In the matter of food, of art, of ingenious devices, what's more, we must trade with Earth as well, and many settlers want to visit Earth and see some of the things we don't have in the settlements. Earth people can't realize how exciting it is for us to see a vast blue horizon, or to look out upon a true ocean, or to see an ice-capped mountain. Therefore, there is a constant coming and going among the settlements and Earth. But each settlement has its own ecological balance. And, of course, Earth has, even these days, an ecology that is enormously and impossibly rich by settlement standard. We have our insects that are
acclimated.
What? And under control. But what if strange insects are casually and unintentionally introduced from another settlement or from Earth? Even worse, what if a pathogenic parasites, bacteria, virus, Pro. I can't see the rest of the word.
Just pronounce it, buddy.
I can't see the rest of the word. It's
Can you see it now?
protozoa are introduced if they produce disease. What if they produce diseases against with another settlement? Of course, Earth itself have developed a certain immunity, but one against which the settlement that suffers the invasion is helpless. For a while, the entire effort of the settlement must go into the preparation or importation of sera designed to confer immunity for or to fight the disease. Once it is established, deaths, of course, occur invariably. What's more, rightly or wrongly, the inhabitants of the settlement fairest in viewing Earth people themselves as particularly dangerous. It is on Earth where the most undesirable life form and parasites are to be found. It is Earth people who are most likely to be infested, and there are parasites on all the settlements who support the notion, sometimes quite vehemently, I don't know how to say that,
Vehemently.
vehemently of
Vehemently.
breaking all contact between the settlements and Earth. That is the danger of which I want to warn Earth people. Distrust and even hatred of Earth people is constantly growing among settlers.
So here's what I want us to do. I'm sending out the Google Forms right now. You're just going to work for the last 4 minutes on this. You should be able to finish the main idea and the questions in class. Remember to think what these words add to the main idea or the tone the author is using. One thing that I do ask is that everyone who is in my advisory group, that is Peace, that is Vincent, that is Sir, that is Jason Sprouse, that is Amira, that is Lawrence. Who else is it? Anyone who is in that Notre Dame advisory group, please stay on after this call is completed so I can do my daily checks with y'all, okay? All right, well, now you have your work cut out for you. You can go ahead and do it. Oh, that is Michelle as well. Michelle's in my advisory group. Sienna's in my advisory group. Who else is there? That's it. Those are the 8. Wait. Hold on, I'm resending it, Vincent. Sorry, guys. I accidentally put the main idea section as a multiple choice thing. I'm redoing that right now. Okay?
Okay. Mr. Erda, I have a question.
Everything.
I have a question on number 1. It says, how does the setting influence the passage? And if I were to put a draft answer, I would say like it shows that they need each other, but they also compare each other as well. But I can't find the answer choice that reflects my draft answer.
I would reread that question because you're not interpreting it carefully enough, buddy.
Okay.
Okay. 9:39. Everyone can go except those people in my advisory. So please leave. So it is only the 8 of us talking. Sienna, do not leave. But Rachel, you can leave. Minta, you can leave. Yes, I said you, Amira. Amira should stay. Rachel, you're not in my advisory. Don't leave. Or actually, you're not in my advisory. Leave, please. Emma, you're also not in my advisory. Please leave. This is just people who are in the Notre Dame advisory. I'm just calling to check in. So as soon as I go through you, we can leave. So Lawrence, starting with you. Lawrence, stop unmuting yourself or muting yourself. Hello. So buddy, what are you reading right now?
So reading